Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another Dead Walking Dead character video. Today we are looking at two members of the Vatos gang, Felipe and Jorge. Yes, one of those is Abuela's grandson, Felipe. Felipe is of course male. He is played by Noel Guglielmelli. He is early to mid-30s and first appeared in Vatos. Jorge is of course male. He's played by James Gonzaba. He is mid to late 20s and appeared in Vatos. Before the outbreak, Felipe lived in Atlanta, his grandmother being Abuela, and he had a cousin named Miguel. He worked at the Atlanta nursing home as a nurse, helping the residents alongside his grandmother, working alongside Guillermo, who was a custodian. Jorge, on the other hand, was a member of the Vatos gang that operated in the city. When the outbreak began, Felipe stayed at the nursing home looking after all the old folks, and the Vatos gang began trickling in to check on their grandparents and parents, and most of them, including Jorge, decided to stay. Over the months, plunderers came, and the Vatos fought off against numerous nasty raiders. One day, Miguel spotted a bag of guns in the street, and he, Felipe, and Jorge went to go get it. In Season 1, after Miguel screams for help, after being confronted by Daryl, Felipe and Jorge make their debut by rushing down the alleyway to help Miguel, Felipe kicking Daryl to the ground and Jorge hitting him with a bat. They beat down on Daryl when Jorge notices Glenn stumble in with the bag of guns. Jorge shouts, "That's the bag," telling Felipe to take it. He tries to and chases Glenn, punching him in the face, and Jorge beating him with the bat. They grab Glenn and Felipe tries to grab the bag when Daryl fires a crossbow bolt into Felipe's ass. Felipe screams in pain, and Jorge grabs him, trying to, keep him on his feet, but seeing Daryl reloading, he grabs Glenn hostage as another gang member pulls up to give them a ride. Jorge drags Glenn to the car, smacking and killing a walker along the way with his bat, and then he and Felipe get into their ride and speed off back to the nursing home. Later, when Rick and friends arrive with Miguel hostage and talk to Guillermo, Felipe comes out with his revolver, pointing out that Daryl was the one who shot him in the ass with a crossbow bolt. He tells him, "What's up?" in a threatening manner, but Guillermo tells him to chill. Jorge also comes out with his gun drawn too, but he said his lines for the episode. Guillermo and Rick talk about the trade and Daryl's brother, and both Felipe and Jorge stand there by Guillermo's side. When Guillermo threatens to unload, Jorge cocks his gun and Felipe points his at Rick and Co. to show that they're ready to shoot. Of course, that's dispelled when Rick reveals he's got a T-Dog up his sleeve. After Guillermo shows that he has Glenn hostage, he gives Rick the ultimatum: bring back the bag of guns and Miguel, or it's basically war. Felipe and Jorge then head back inside of the nursing home. When Rick and Co. return with Miguel for a second time, both Felipe and Jorge stand by Guillermo as he points out the guns are not in the bag. Felipe suggests they just shoot them all now, but Guillermo calms him down with a little hand gesture. Rick hands over Miguel and demands Glenn, Jorge looking all threatening. Guillermo then threatens to feed Glenn to his dogs, but Rick counters with a cock of a shotgun and a standoff commences. Felipe and Jorge both aiming their weapons. Tension rises when Abuela pops out, Felipe telling her to go back with the others. Guillermo tells her to listen to Felipe, but Abuela tells Felipe that Mr. Gilbert needs his asthma stuff. Guillermo tells Felipe to take care of it and to take Abuela with them, but Abuela sees a police officer and rushes to Rick, asking not to take Felipe. He's got a checkered past, sure, but he's a good boy and we need him. Rick explains that he's looking for Glenn, and Abuela tells him that she'll take him to the young man. She pulls Rick along, and Guillermo tells his crew to let them pass, and Jorge and Felipe, of course, let them do that. That's the last of Jorge, but Felipe follows Rick and his grandmother through the nursing home and to the gardens, holding his ass in pain as he does. In the corridor, he tells Abuela to take him to Mr. Gilbert, and he holds his ass again, as his grandmother leads him into the main hall of the nursing home. Felipe then finds Gilbert and the inhaler, I guess, telling Gilbert to breathe as he gives him his inhaler. And then that is the last we see of Felipe. Now sadly, off-screen, both Felipe and Jorge were killed by an unnamed group. Possibly just some unrelated raiders, but my money is always on the governor and Woodbury being the ones who did it. Either way, we see their fate in a deleted scene, and later on, during Season 9's run, Robert Kirkman confirmed that they are, in fact, all deceased. Now, he doesn't say exactly how they died, but I think we can take the deleted scene as somewhat canon. Their bodies are likely left to rot. R.I.P. Felipe and Jorge. We all love Felipe. What a comedic dude. Crossbow bolt in the ass, toughness defeated by his sweet grandmother, he saves Mr. Gilbert, goated character. Jorge is a mostly silent dude who's always trying to act tough, but I don't know, he doesn't look it to me. Anyway, tell me your thoughts on Felipe and Jorge, two stand-up dudes for sure, and let's spin that wheel. Let's pick another character profile. Who will it be? Oh, so we're going to be looking at Stephanie from the Hilltop. But also we're going to be looking at another Hilltop background character who I think is her father. If not, there's a really weird age gap and it's her boyfriend. But I'm going to assume it's her father. So we're going to be looking at those two.